molecular weight. Now, if you take the case of water, H2O, the molecule is H2O. In water, 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen are there. So, my dear friends, 2 atoms, see, you know that hydrogen is having atomic number 1, atomic weight is 1. See, now we are seeing the molecular weight. Means we must see only the atomic weights into consideration. There is no need of atomic number, but we want atomic weights. So now in this particular case, hydrogen is having 2 atoms. Each one is having atomic weight is 1 plus oxygen is only 1. So the molecular weight of oxygen is 16. So 16 into 1. So that is 16. So 2 ones are 2, 2 plus 16, that is equal to 18. So 18 is the molecular weight of water. 18 grams is called gram molecular weight. I think now you understood. If you take a case of carbon dioxide, please, this is a competition. Now you can do it. Already we know about the carbon. Carbon atomic number 6, 12. 12 is the mass number. And we are having one atom of carbon, means 1 into 12. Plus 2 atoms of oxygen. Now oxygen atomic weight is 16. So my dear friends, now this is 12, 16 twos, 32. So 32 plus 12, that is nothing but 44. So 44 is the molecular weight of carbon dioxide. I think now you understood. In grams is called, 44 gram is called gram molecular weight. You can very easily find out. Now I request all of you to do along with me and move faster than me. In this particular case, 2 atoms of carbon means 2 into each atom is having carbon 12 plus 4 atoms of hydrogen. Hydrogen is having atomic molecular weight is 1. So now that is equal to 12 into 2 is 24, right? Plus 4, 24 plus 4. So 24 plus 4 is nothing but 28. So 28 is the molecular weight of C2H4. C2H4. The molecular weight is 28. 28 grams is called gram molecular weight. Similarly, you can do for this and also for this acetyl. You can do for these two. You will get the value. You can do it. And let us take nitric acid, HNO3. You can, in this way, you can find any value. The molecular weight for any compound, any substance you can find out the molecular weights. Please try to find out the molecular weights of at least 50 elements. Potassium nitrate, zinc chloride, magnesium sulfate. That way you write at least 50 elements. Already you have written so many compounds in the previous classes. You write at least 50 and start writing the molecular weights. You do it. Minimum 50, maximum 100, no problem. So that your practice will be better. Practice makes a man perfect. Because this is very important skill. Because in any competitive examination, just by seeing the formula, you must be in a position to say, okay, all this calculation should be finished off in your mind itself. That comes only with the practice. So okay, let us take one more example. That is nitric acid. Nitric acid, 1 hydrogen is there, 1 nitrogen is there, 3 oxygens are. So 1 hydrogen means 1 into 1, that is 1. Nitrogen also is 1 in there. Molecular atomic weight of nitrogen is 17. So 14, that is 14. And oxygen is 3 are. So 3 into, see, oxygen is 16. 16 3 is 48. So now when you add these 3, you are getting 63. So 63 is a molecular weight of nitric acid. 63 grams is a gram molecular weight of nitric acid. Similarly for hydrochloric acid, HCl. Chlorine, 17 is atomic number, mass number is 35.5. So 35.5 plus 1, because 1 hydrogen is 36.5. That's the molecular weight of hydrochloric acid. Sulfuric acid, same. 2 atoms of hydrogen, 1 atom of sulfur, 4 atoms of oxygen. Just multiply, you will get the value that is equal to 98. You can do it. Similarly, similar to this, you at least practice for minimum 50. My suggestion is minimum 50. You just, if you have any doubt, see the molecular molecular weights. Already you know the molecular weights. Just go through it. You just see it. See and do, no problem. You can digest it. It's a very important thing. You calculate. In any competitive examination, my dear friends, the calculators are not given. Any kind of calculative devices are not allowed into the hall. So please multiply by yourself, add by yourself. Don't depend on anything, but you can verify using a calculator. Let us see chemical equation and balancing a chemical equation. A very essential thing in chemistry. One must have the idea of how to balance a chemical equation. First, there are different varieties of chemical equations are there. Again, we are going to discuss about that in detail. Chemical combination, chemical decomposition, chemical displacement, chemical double displacement, chemical combustion reactions, neutralization reactions are there, and photosynthesis is there. And like that, we have exothermic reactions are there, endothermic reactions are there, reversible reactions are there, irreversible reactions are there. In that way, chemical equations, we are having different varieties of equations will come into picture. Now, here, we know that in chemical equation, these are called the products, those are the products, these are the reactants. Reactants mean the initial thing what you are taking. You are adding these two initially. They are called the reactants. After the reaction is finished, you are getting the products. So they are called the products. Reactants and products. On your right hand side, reactants. On your left hand side, products. So I think now you understood. This side is called the reactant and that side is called the products. And in chemistry, we even say a very important thing that mass is conserved. Mass of the reactants is equal to the mass of the products. Mass can neither be created nor be destroyed. Similar to that of the energy. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Similarly, mass also in any chemical reaction, mass can neither be created nor can be destroyed. So, according to that, the number of atoms on this side, reactant side, must be equal to the number of atoms on the product side. So that process, in that process we do some adjustment. That is called balancing a chemical equation. Again, in balancing a chemical equation, we have different methods are there. Now we are only discussing about the trial and error method. That's all. Now, for example, if you take this particular sodium plus water gives rise to sodium hydroxide NaOH plus hydrogen. That is the equation. Okay, right. Now, is this balanced or not? Let us see whether it is balanced or not. Yes. Let us call this as the left hand side, that as the right hand side. Right. Now, number of sodium atom here is 1 and 1. No problem. Here also oxygen atom is here, this 1. Reactant side, product side is also 1. No problem. But hydrogens here 2 are there. But here 3 are there. Here 1 plus 2. 3 are there. So, the number of hydrogens are not balanced. So, I think now you understand. Now, this is not a balanced equation. This is not a balanced equation. Even if one atom is not balanced, it is not a balanced equation. Now, let us try. Let us now make it, let us now make the number 2 here. So, when I have done 2 there, my dear friends, now the number of hydrogens became 2 into 2. This 2 belongs to every atom. Means 2 sodiums are there, 2 oxygens are there, 2 hydrogens are there. These 2 must be counted for all atoms. So now here 2 hydrogens and 2 hydrogens. Totally on your right hand side 4 hydrogen atoms are there. On your left hand side only 2 are there. So let me put 2 here. Now with this what happened? Now hydrogens got balanced. 2, this is 2 into 2, 4 hydrogens are there. My dear friends, here 2 into 2, that is here 4 hydrogens are there. Here also 4 hydrogens are there. No problem. This 2 belongs to this oxygen also. So 2 oxygens are there, 2 oxygens are there. Okay, that is balanced. But sodium here 2 atoms are there, here only 1 is there. So let me put here 2. this equation. Now let us see this particular equation. Now here zinc, okay, there also zinc is 1, but here chlorine 2 are there. But here it's only, here 2 are there, here only 1 chlorines are, here only 1. Now coming to hydrogen, here 2 hydrogens are there, but here it's only, here 1 is there, here it is only 2 only. So my dear friends, now let us try to balance it. See, in trial and error method, you can't directly go for a correct answer. Now because here is 2, let me try for 2 here. Let me try and see what's going to happen. Now 2 hydrogens are there, 2 Cls are there, right? Now I think 2 hydrogens are there. Is it balanced totally? Once again let us see now. Zinc here 1, here 1. Chlorine here 2, here 2, right? Next, hydrogens here 2, here 2. I think it is balanced. Now once again, zinc plus hydrochloric acid gives rise to zinc chloride plus hydrogen. I think now you can understand here. See my dear friends. Hydrogen valence is 1, chlorine valence is 1, HCl. Zinc valence is 2, chlorine valence is 1. Formula. Zinc ZnCl2 it became. Now you can even see the formulas also, valences also. Check your valences. Now this equation got balanced. Now Zn plus, is it got balanced? 2 hydrogens, 2 chlorines, 2 chlorines. Okay, right, fine. This is a balanced equation. Now potassium chlorate, ClO3 chlorate. Potassium chlorate is a reactant and the product is potassium chloride, chloride. Okay, potassium chloride plus oxygen, O2. Now here, K here it is 1, chlorine also is 1, but oxygen is 3 here and 2 there. So let us go for some correction here. Let me write 2 here and 3 here. Why I am writing 2 and 3 here? So that 2 3s are 6, 3 2s are 6. Now oxygen is 6 number of atoms of hydrogen. Oxygen are there. Here also 6 oxygens are there. But now here it is 2 potassium, 2 chlorine. So let me put 2 here. Now the left hand side and the right hand side got balanced. Now the reactants and the products are equal. I think now you understood how to balance a chemical equation by the trial and error method. So my dear friends, writing a chemical equation means you must try to follow all the rules. And the final equation must be a balanced equation. An unbalanced, if you are writing a balanced equation, then you are completely, absolutely correct. If you write any equation and if you don't balance it, your answer is the wrong answer. So please take at least many examples and try to balance in every case. Thank you.